the key? We want to identify and utilize expertise. There's two things about experts that you must remember. And I'm going to start here by using my simplest example. If I release this water bottle, as soon as I release it, can you predict what's going to happen?
Yes.
Do you have to think about this? You know it's going to fall.
Yes.
I run 100 tests. Each time, it's going to fall.
Yes.
Okay? So make this simple. If you understand something, it becomes simple. When it's simple, do you have to think more or think less? Less. Therefore, every time you're thinking identifies that you are not an expert in something. Therefore, an expert thinks more or thinks less? Does that make sense to everyone? And I can prove this. This is a natural law.
Yeah.
Right? If somebody has to think about something, they are not an expert.
Yeah.
Now, they're an expert because they don't have to think about something because they can always see into the future. Before we run 100 tests, they absolutely know every time the test is run, it will fall. They do not need to have the test run. Experts see things simple, think less, and see into the future. Therefore, we now know if you ask an expert something, do you have to give them more information or less information?
Less.
Less. You don't have to give them information. Because if you have to give them a lot of information, they're not an expert. Does everybody feel comfortable with this idea?
Not really, but yeah.
Okay. Therefore, an expert, when you ask them to do anything, to the expert, is it simple or is it complex? Simple. If it's complex, you don't have an expert. When it's complex, people have to start thinking. If they have to start thinking, they probably need more information. More information, more thinking. They think it's complex. You do not have an expert. When an expert gets asked to do anything with very little information, they can see into the future. They know what's going to happen before it happens. They can just sit there and the mind moves how quickly? Instantly. Because they're not what? Thinking. So they can quickly see what's going to happen. They quickly pick out the most critical things. And they can see it very clearly. So an expert needs how long to give you a price estimate on something that they need to do? Very quickly, because they can see. Yeah, they may move a little here and there, but not much. When an expert looks around to all the other stakeholders that they're working with, do they quickly realize that everyone else has their expertise or not have their expertise? Not. Therefore, an expert knows because they don't have their expertise, they better make it simple. Or else, what are they doing with all their time? Wasting it. Expert knows that. Right? An expert doesn't have to even think about it because these are natural laws. As natural a law as if I release this, it's going to fall because that's the law of gravity. That is an expert. Any questions about this? Are we good? Okay. Quick questions. Does an expert think more or think less? Less. If they don't know something, they immediately ask for what? Another expert, because they don't know. They won't keep doing what? This. Okay. Are we good?
Yes.
If you just remember that, you have remembered a lot.